Alright, good morning everyone. It's Justin Folks here, and today I'm heading out to Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Brickyard 400. This will be my second NASCAR Crown Jewel races. I annually attend the Daytona 500 typically, so this is going to be a little new to me. I've been to Indianapolis for the Indy 500 in the road course race, but I have not been here for the oval race for NASCAR, so it's going to be a new experience, and I'm really looking forward to it. So other than that, we're going to get straight into the objectives, and then after that, we'll look at the in-season challenge championship matchup. Alright, for our objectives, the first one will be when we cross the Indiana state line, I must give a 30-second speech of why Eastern Time in North America is the best time zone in the world. And then for our second objective, we're going to visit the State Soldiers and Sailors Monument, which is in downtown Indianapolis. Whether we get out the car, I don't know, but we can literally drive right around it. And then our third objective is get up close and personal with these bricks at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So those are our three objectives. And then we're going to take a quick glance at the NASCAR in-season challenge. We have quite the matchup here. We have Ty versus Ty. It's going to be Ty Gibbs going up against Ty Dillon. Ty Dillon is literally the last seeded, and Ty Gibbs is pretty high up there. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens, if we're going to see something crazy. It is Indianapolis. We saw some crazy stuff yesterday in the NASCAR Xfinity Series race, whether it was Austin Hill just absolutely dumping Eric Almirola, or it was Kyle Larson getting into Justin Allgaier, and Connor Zillage ended up stealing that win low-key. So, also, this will be my last road trip of the year. So, it's going to be from St. Louis to Indianapolis. I'm going to show that off for y'all. It is dark. But other than that, let's get this thing kicked off and let's get the Indy. Alright, so we're at our wonderful favorite gas station, the Love's Travel Stops. Needed to get some gas. I went to the gym before, so I am going to be hungry because I'm not going to eat for a hot minute. So we're going to grab a snack of some sort, and then we will get back on the road, and I'll talk just a little to y'all. Alright, we are back on the road on I-70. It is essentially a straight shot, so that's convenient. So first, I was just going to show you what I got. So I just got my favorite Doritos. I believe these are the best Doritos. Let me know if you think otherwise. And then I can get into the bag. I know I can do this. I got myself a cheese string. I haven't had one of these since I was a kid, so we're going to do that. And then here I am doing the prawn sweepstakes thing. So this flavor is alright. It's definitely not the best. It's like a kiwi dragon fruit. I don't know if I like it, but it's grown on me, honestly. Today, if things go to plan, it's going to be an interesting day for me, because right after this race, I will be heading back to St. Louis, and I will be playing in a soccer match. So I'm going to have to switch my mindset. It's going to be a total of 7 hours of driving today, so I'm just going to really have to flip a switch when I get out there, and it's a must-win for us, so I hope I can get out there. It's going to depend, rain, weather, all those sorts of factors, so we'll see what happens. And also, I didn't mention, but we will be having a special guest joining us in this vlog. I am not going to this race alone, so I'm looking forward to not going to the race alone. Alright, and now I get the boast for 30 seconds of why Eastern Time in North America is the best time zone in the world. So the first one is, I grew up with it my entire childhood. Pretty biased. My second reason is, all my teams from Tampa and Toronto are in Eastern Time. Also pretty biased and connects to the first one. My third one is, I'm a night owl, so I don't mind late night things for like the Pacific people, stuff like that. And then also connecting to this. The majority of people in North America are awake, so I don't mind staying up late. And the weird one is European football, aka soccer, in the late morning and early afternoon. It's quite convenient, so I do like that a lot. And this is pretty horrible, I'm not gonna lie. I probably even went over 30 seconds, but that's fine. Oh boy. Well, I feel everyone who talks about a certain time zone, it's biased, so it is what it is. We're gonna continue driving now. We completed our second objective. We drove around it as we could, and what I did notice is for this weekend's race, they had a Chase Elliott Avenue sign up, if y'all saw it in the video. So I found that pretty cool. I'm sure that's probably around the city of other drivers too, but that was pretty sick to see. So I've actually only been in downtown Indianapolis once, and it was for an NFL game a couple years back. Anyways, now we're gonna go pick up our special guest, so we'll see you once we pick them up. Alright, hello, this is my special guest, Ray.
Hello.
Something that's coming up in the future is we are reintroducing Tristan Spack, which will get explained in a while, but this is one of the Indy boys, to say the least, and we're gonna have a good time at the track. He asked the tickets and the parking, so makes it very easy on me, so I appreciate that a lot.
Anytime,
so
anytime.
We're gonna get to the track, park it up. I'll do my fantasy picks, and then afterwards we'll do the third objective, so just to make that clear. So other than that, let's run it. Also, before we got to the track just now, we made a Kroger run, so I'm really only doing this for points to get a hat or a shirt. I know we ain't getting a million, but I'm not even about the million, if I had to be real with you. And then Sun Chips has a new flavor. It's honey barbecue, so we're gonna bring these in. I'm interested how it's gonna go. All right, so now I'm gonna share my picks for the Brickyard 400. This is for fantasy. So first one, we're gonna have defending race winner Kyle Larson. He's starting a little back, but he does have a good amount of pace where I would expect that he'll find his way into the top 5. And then our next driver, we have the pole sitter, Chase Briscoe. I used him last week at Dover just based on the starting position, so I think as long as he doesn't burn his tires, which is a little of an issue for him, he'll be fine. So I would expect him to confidently finish in the top 10. And then our next guy, we have Bubba Wallace. We haven't used Bubba in a little bit now, but I do like Bubba Wallace's speed in general. He's also starting on the front row. And then we have his teammate Tyler Reddick. Reddick is very similar built to him, so I would expect both the 2311 cars that's not named Riley Herbst to be in the top 5. And then we have Ty Gibbs also in the starting lineup. Fast car in general, looking to win that in-season challenge. And then in the garage, we have Eric Jones. So Legacy Motor Club brought in some fast cars, and I was very impressed with Eric Jones. The 42 ran a lot longer, but he essentially damaged his race car. But basing off that and how similar their numbers look like, I feel I can trust Jones, and Jones has had some good runs here in the past.
Not to mention the top 5 is for starting this Brickyard 400 are Toyota drivers. So this could be like a really big task for the Toyota teams as well.
True that. Alright, next we got these beautiful matchups here. So we have Christopher Bell against Tyler Reddick. Usually you know how I roll with these, so I have Tyler Reddick, he's in the lineup as well. And then my next one is between Ryan Blaney and Bubba Wallace. We're going with Bubba Wallace. I know he'll be up front the whole time. Ryan Blaney has not looked very good the whole weekend. And then we have our special in-season challenge matchup. If y'all were wondering who I thought would win, and I've already made it obvious with my picks, it's Ty Dillon against Ty Gibbs. We definitely got Ty Gibbs going all the way here, but we'll see if Ty Dillon can upset the world, essentially. And then our last one, we have Kyle Larson against Denny Hamlin. I went with Kyle Larson because I don't know what to expect with Denny Hamlin, but I would not be shocked if the 11 found his way to finish ahead of the 5 in that backup car that he will be running today. So that's going to be it for my picks. And then also the note, Larson and Reddick have 1 usage left, so I'm either going to burn through both of them or I'm going to burn through one of them, but hopefully we only have to use one of them so we can save one of the others, since we have 4 races to go after this, if I'm not mistaken, before the playoffs start, when everything essentially resets. So I have some things mapped out, so a couple of these picks were mapped out. So other than that, that's it, and we're gonna run out to the track. All right, walking to the racetrack. The other thing Ray reminded me is poncho, and I thought I had everything before I left. And then I was like, I'm sure I'm forgetting something. I did not bring a poncho. And every time I've been to Indianapolis, whether it's NFL, whether it's being at the track for anything, it's rained every single time. So I may or not be guaranteeing 100% chance of rain, which is scary, especially if you know what my night potentially looks like. That may all come crashing, which, do I care?
No.
Maybe. Maybe not.
No.
So that's the one thing I did forget. To those viewers also that are Canada soccer viewers, this man supports El Salvador, so
Yep.
he was watching me and all the other Voyagers in the crowd. We had a great time. I'm sorry about the 2-0 loss, but yes. So.
I had to watch this guy on TV like twice when Canada scored. I see him and the boys are celebrating. When I'm over here like smiling, when I see this guy's face, I'm like, yeah, I know he's celebrating.
We had fun. Check out that video if you haven't. It's the most fun I've had at a football match in a long time.
Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt cars over here.
Whole section. I had to crop out the audio due to the copyright music, but I said I wouldn't kiss the bricks to wish anyone bad luck. We'll now be waiting for the grid walk to see the drivers. So we are heading to the seats. Hope you enjoyed a little of that up close and personal. So I'm not sure how this vlog will be since there's always things obstructing, kind of like Chicago. So it'll probably be a mix of an oval and how Chicago was. So I'll make the best out of it, trust me.
These folks, they love all kinds of racing, dirt track racing, IndyCar racing, NASCAR racing, you name it. What do we have for you?
Appreciate your time. So close to the Brickyard 400, everybody. You have a touch for it. Presenting a fire award on the KC 135. Drivers to your cars.
Drivers, start your engines.
also for fantasy, I put Eric Jones in, and I've taken Ty Gibbs out. So we're finally making changes in our lineup, so that's my update to you. Since somebody didn't get the lug nut tied on Eric Jones' car, and the rest is history.
See you on the go. certainly a lot more as the fall. What a greatly executed restart by Bubba Wallace. Larson tried to squeeze him. Smith was 13th in the restart. He had him right there. Right there, got turned around. That was Christopher Bell with the initial contact with Smith, and then no place for Reddick to go there. And Arnold.
At just 22 years old, Ty Gibbs, your in-season bracket challenge champion.
All right, so Bubba Wallace ends up finding his way, holding off Kyle Larson, and he wins the Brickyard 400, and he'll be locking himself into the playoffs. So I wanted to talk about in my thoughts video how Bubba Wallace just needs to win, but today he ends up finding that win.
Yep, he did.
Kyle Larson did pretty good as well, as expected. I wish he could have got by for my fantasy purposes, but at the end of the day, we had a decent points day and gain on the leader for me, so I'm pretty happy. We saw Legato blow a tire with about 24 to go leading, so that could have been the race winner and everyone would be pissed, and I would have agreed with everybody that it would have been somewhat of a fluke win, even though he's running top 10 all day, but definitely was not the winning car. It was a pleasure being here in Indianapolis. I'm not playing soccer tonight, so I can lollygag my way back. So that rain delay changed not everything, but delayed the race, and we saw a wreck in overtime, so we got 2 overtimes out of it. Anyways, we're gonna get in the car and then I'm gonna head back to the Lou and my final road trip of 2025, and then I'll give my final thoughts about the race. And we also saw Ty Gibbs win the in-season challenge, so we'll look at that bracket as well. All right, I'm dropping the boy right off. Just wanted to say I appreciate you. He set us up with parking and was the one who bought the tickets. I obviously paid him back, so guys in a good spot. So I've literally been to every race with him, so I look forward to having more of these in the future. So it's been like a long time since we've seen each other, but yeah, it was great. So I appreciate you as always. So what do you want to say?
Well, stay tuned and subscribe to his channel and all the content, and sometimes also subscribe to my channel. Not as big as his, but
I'll put it in the description.
Yep. But that's all for me.
All right, no, I haven't got to my final thoughts just yet, but every time I am in Indianapolis, I end up going to BJ's. This is my 4th time in Indianapolis, meaning this is my 4th time at BJ's. So this time around, I just got myself just more of a pizza, and then we got a chocolate chip Mizuki, so I'm gonna tear that thing up. So this was urgent for some reason, but I just got notified that tonight's game is postponed, so I might miss on anything. So let's go. Next up, final thoughts. So we are back, and do not mind the boxes as I am moving out here shortly. But anyways, we're gonna do a little recap and then my final thoughts on the race. So in the first stage, I would say things were quite normal, not really any passing, and then we saw Ross Chastain get wrecked and his day ultimately ended. And then we saw stage 1 conclude. We saw a lot of split strategies, a lot of different strategies, such as the Team Penske cars trying to stay out, and then just stuff like that. We saw that carry on throughout this race. And then in stage 2, we unfortunately saw Eric Jones lose a tire on behalf of his pit crew. Was not too happy about that, honestly. And then we end stage 2, but there's not really any passing. And then we get into stage 3, and we see some interesting pit strategy, notably. And it seems like Joey Logano is going to cycle out front, but we see him blow a tire. And we also saw Austin Cindric blow a tire, so it's not like the 22 was the only one to blow a tire. It was the 2 as well. The 41 did. 3 Fords, notably, all blue tires on straightaways. So very interesting there. I'm not too sure why. I obviously didn't watch the broadcast, so I'm not very familiar at the current moment. I'll have to look back on it when I edit this video. And then it looked like Bubba Wallace was going to set sail and get a win, but then Mother Nature strikes. We see some rain in turn 1 and 2, meaning we are going to overtime. And then in overtime, we see a multi-car incident started by Christopher Bell. We saw Zane Smith and Tyler Reddick be two of the notable drivers get wrecked. Joey Logano as well. Not too sure what was going on there with the 20. He has had 3 spotters this year, so that is something to keep in mind. And then we had a second overtime, which it seemed like calmer for sure. And Bubba Wallace was able to hold off Kyle Larson. So congrats to Bubba. I'm happy he was able to find a win, and they're an open team right now. And at the end of the day, they are going to the playoffs now. Also, we end up seeing Ty Gibbs finish ahead of Ty Dillon with ease. Ty Dillon got involved in a checkup on the restart and got some damage. He was not the same. And then Ty Gibbs just held his own, and they wanted to make sure he got it and didn't run out of fuel. So we saw him pit a lot of times towards the end to make sure they had enough fuel to make it, which I was a little concerned for him if he got caught up in the wreck in the back, which he almost did, but he didn't, and he wins $1 million. So it's something he wins for the first time in his Cup Series career. About the race, I thought it sucked, honestly. I don't recall seeing much passing at all. I only saw very few passes, and it feels like it was in the single digits, honestly. Dirty air was a big factor. It literally didn't matter who was in front. They would lead the whole time. And I have another instance where we saw Justin Haley in third. No offense to Justin Haley, but he didn't drop any spots. He had a bunch of faster cars behind him, and none of those faster cars could pass him. And then also, we saw Bubba Wallace zoom up to Joey Logano quickly, and then once he got closer, couldn't do anything about it. So, dirty air was extremely a negative factor in this race, which drops my rating on this one very low, for sure. Was not impressed with that. So, I'm not too sure how we fix that, but that's where the next gen car is a legitimate problem, because the racing sucked. I'm not going to twist it or anything. Not even the drama helped the race, honestly. It just made it a little more exciting, but it was pretty obvious how things were going to go, just based on what order were you. That's literally it. It was just follow the leader for the most part. So I hope we get some better races coming up, and they find a way to make a prestige race like that a lot better next year. Whether it's more horsepower and big spoilers in the back, I don't know. It was very cool being out here for the race, so I'm happy I got to attend the Brickyard 400 for the first time in my life, and hopefully next year we get a better one, and hopefully I get a chance at the Indy 500, because I did not this year. Other than that, that is going to do it for me. My next race will be Daytona for the Coke Zero Sugar 400. We'll be in the suites again, so we're gonna have a great time. It's the last race before the playoffs, and then also after I upload this video, I will be uploading, we'll call it the in-season challenge review, and then my thoughts on those races, and then we're also going to look ahead at the final 4 races before the playoffs begin. So we're going to go a little more in depth with that, but I'll say that for another video. I just want to say thanks for watching and your support. It has been fun doing these videos, and they're getting more appreciation as we go along, so it means a lot. And it's time for me to go to sleep, because I've been up for about 21 hours now. Take care of yourselves, God bless, and have a good one.